Since he didn't commit felony assault at the party, why don't you bang my ex-stepsister? Not ex-stepsister, my stepsister ex.
Hey, Upper East Siders and all you scandal-loving listeners out there. You just tuned into the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, where the coffee is strong, the waffles are fresh, and the gossip is hotter than ever. My name is Leaf, and I'm your seasoned Gossip Girl veteran.
And I'm Steve, the newbie, the greenhorn, I don't know, Leaf, where do I stand now that we're in season 4?
I don't know, but I've been trying every trick I know in the bedroom to try to get you to fall in love with me. Business reasons, of course, but nothing seems to be working.
Well, you know that that's just not the way to my heartstrings, and...
Fair enough.
So here's the deal, folks. Leaf has been watching Gossip Girl since it first aired, and I'm diving in for the first time, and together we are your dynamic duo, bringing you all the drama, romance, and sometimes questionable fashion choices of this iconic 2007 series.
Bring your magnifying glasses, because each week we're dissecting every juicy detail of the show, one episode at a time. We'll connect the dots, uncover those sneaky little Easter eggs, and of course serve up some piping hot behind-the-scenes tea. And expect some iconic fan moments too, because what's a deep dive without a little drama?
And since we are all about inclusivity here at the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, there is always room for you at the Non-Judging Breakfast table. So go ahead and grab a mimosa, a cup of coffee, or some of Nate and Chuck's special medicine, and let's get into this.
Before we get into the episode, we got another email.
What is it now?
This one is from Mal.
Hello, Mal. Thanks for writing in.
Hello, it's Jaden's friend Mal from Spotify. I don't know where you'll be on your watch when you receive this, but I'm writing it just having finished your episode on Season 4, Episode 10, Gaslit. I had a lot of thoughts that were too long to fit in a comment this time, so I thought I'd try my hand at sending in an email. I really love Dan with Serena this episode, even though I don't personally ship Darina past Season 1. It's less about their relationship to me specifically, and more just seeing that part of Dan. I think it's his most admirable quality, and it's why he's one of my favorite characters. That being said, I can't blame Nate for his attitude with the Serena situation, even if it's a little harsh. It's both cause I personally don't interpret it as him deciding not to be there for her at all, but just not being willing to forgive and forget and drop everything for her. It's a lot easier for Dan to do that because he gets back way more of what he puts into his relationship with her than Nate does. One of my biggest issues with Serenade is that Nate's constantly prioritizing Serena, while she chooses literally anyone else over him. Nate also knows that Serena has a huge support system in place for her with her family, Dan, Blair, and Chuck, so it's not like he's leaving her alone, and he has his own shit to deal with. Also, completely coincidentally, and not by my planning at all, a while ago, I ended up both watching When Harry Met Sally and the Gossip Girl episode, with the scene that's a direct homage to one of the scenes from the movie on the same day, not specifying which scene in particular since you're probably not there yet, but I think Leif will know which one I'm talking about. That was a great day for me, fantastic movie, and fantastic episode. Tried to keep that as short as possible, but rambling has always been a gift of mine. I'm really looking forward to these coming episodes because the second half of Season 4 might be my favorite part of Gossip Girl, and I can't wait to hear Steve's reaction to it.
So, some of it's what we said ourselves, for one thing.
But yeah, thank you for writing in, Mal.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Keep them coming.
We are here to talk about Season 4, Episode 14, Panic Roommate. The original air date was February 7th, 2011, and it was based on the movie Panic Room.
Another one of those movies that I'm like, God damn, it's that old.
This was actually from all the way back in 2002.
I was going to say, that's like a turn of the century movie.
David Fincher, starring Jodie Foster, Kirsten Stewart, and Forrest Whitaker, in which a divorced woman and her diabetic daughter take refuge in the newly purchased house's safe room when the men break in searching for a missing fortune.
Yeah, I remember watching that, and that's the way they shoot that movie, it is so claustrophobic. And Jodie Foster's a champ, as per usual.
Haven't seen it.
Got to apologize for my rough voice real quick. I was running D&D all weekend, so sorry if I sound a little rough right now.
This episode was written by Jake Coburn, a longtime story editor, and has previously written in Season 3 Enough About Eve and The Empire Strikes Jack, and has wrote Easy J in Season 4.
Easy J was okay, right?
Yeah, that was the one where Jenny comes back and does the fashion thing
With Tim Gunn, right? Yeah, the Tim Gunn episode. 'Cause Empire Strikes Jack was kind of terrible, I feel.
Yeah.
Enough About Eve, I don't remember. Or is it
That was
Ava?
the freshman toast.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
That was, that was a pretty
the,
good one.
Right, the Vanessa
Versus
Blair. Yeah, I like that one kind of.
And it was directed by our favorite Brat Pack member, Andrew McCarthy.
Okay, back for the fourth time.
No, this is his
third time.
Yeah.
It's just that he was
It's fourth time. He acted in one episode,
right
as Lily's dad.
Yeah, as Mr. Vanderwood.
But then also directed
Mr. Rhodes Sr.
The Lady Vanished and Touch of Ava.
Yeah, which were both, not great. Lady Vanished was one of my least favorite episodes. I hated the mom so much. I just thought she was terrible.
This episode, spoilers, might give it a run for money for bad episodes, though.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you give us that Vulture recap?
So, do you go to things like this every week? Ex-con Ben asked Serena upon arrival at the W party. The second featured on the show in 2 weeks. It was an in-joke for us, the loyal viewers, who know that every episode of Gossip Girl culminates in a glamorous celebration, many of them at that evening's venue, the Palace. And laughs were had. But Blake Lively as Serena, in what was probably not a triumph of acting, but her natural facial expression, looked confused and thrown off balance by the remark, as though an unfamiliar memory was stirring deep within her hair extensions. Yes, she had been here before, she seemed to be thinking, but under what circumstances? I thought the music would be fun, she said slowly, like a short-circuiting Stepford wife. It wasn't Serena's only amnesiac moment in last night's episode. She also had to be reminded by Dan that her new paramour spent 3 years trying to ruin her life, and her infatuations with bookish intellectuals of a different class, as Blair put it, tend to be short-lived. But Serena wasn't the only one of the gang who found themselves in a place they'd been before. Lonely Eric turned back to Jenny Humphrey like trickery, thinking it would win him a friend. Chuck found himself on the brink of losing a worthy woman owing to his deceptive trickery, then getting her back at the last minute, and Nate naturally got used for his body.
Naturally. Even though he's selfish in bed.
Yeah, I was trying to slide that into the intro when you said the thing about trying to do everything you could. I tried to say, but I need a less selfish lover, but I couldn't get it out in time.
We move into Act 1 with a Gossip Girl monologue. A wise woman once said that every morning when you wake up, you say a little prayer. After all, you never know what your day may hold. From a warm goodbye to a chilly hello, from quiet solitude to surprise company, the day waits for no one. Chuck and Raina open the episode with a morning quickie.
Yep, they sure did. More super awkward sex scenes from this season's whatever's going on with their intimacy coordination is off this whole year.
Blair arrives at the W and appears to be overwhelmed by the workload Epperly is putting on her.
And trying to step up and do more, which is the Blairish thing to do.
Serena checks her voicemail and is clearly disappointed by the "you have no new messages" notification.
So thirsty. Serena, come on.
It's a trope we don't see anymore in TV and movies.
Yeah.
The loser who has no messages.
Yeah. It's a lost art.
You have no messages.
Yeah, nowadays it would be, we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. You have 27 messages.
Dan enters his front door and is bewildered to see Ben's parole officer along with Rufus and Ben.
Yeah, this was weird because, like, it was discussed in the previous episode, and the way that Dan was like, whoa, I didn't think you would actually go through with it. It was kind of dumb to write it this way. It was kind of dumb to have it a week layover and for Dan to be like, oh, well, you said it might happen and not.
Well, Dan wasn't part of the conversation last week.
No, yes, I know. But then Dan in this says, oh, you told me it might happen. It just seemed very, oh, we need Dan to be surprised. And yeah, I thought it was just silly. The way they did it more than anything.
We see more sexy time from Chuck and Raina. Raina ignores 2 calls from Thorpe Enterprises before finally taking a call directly from her dad.
Yeah, it's her boss. She has to take the call mid-coital call with my dad. Does that bother you?
It doesn't bother me, but
does it bother you?
Should bother you.
Which one of us are you calling daddy right now?
Roll Tide. We find out that it's once again New York Fashion Week and the stress is causing Epperly to ride Blair pretty hard. Blair figures she just needs to get Epperly's strings plucked to relieve some of that stress.
Yeah. Once again, Blair being like, wow, a powerful woman needs something. I got to get her laid. The best way for me to advance in my career is to get someone else laid. This is at least... Okay, so Nellie Yuki, right? The professor at Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
There was someone else, right? Isn't there another one that Blair is like, but a man? Jenny kind of has has that plot a couple of times. And Blair kind of has the I need to find myself a man thing a couple of times. But yeah, I just feel like that's her go-to solution.
Sex sells, baby.
Yeah, I guess she's not always wrong. Seems to work today.
Mm-hmm. Although they just talked.
How sweet.
The loft passes the home inspection and Ben is being gracious, but Dan is clearly not happy. After the PO leaves and Ben goes into the bedroom to unpack, Dan vents a bit to Rufus. Dan is surprised to find out the whole thing was Serena's idea.
Yeah, you just see Dan in this episode. Dan doing his, like, broody, I'm mad Dan stuff. And no slight to Ben, I think that it is... Until Dan kind of really breaks character in this episode, which I find that Dan kind of breaks... Dan and Eric, I felt, kind of break character in how they were written in this episode.
Yeah, they should just stop teaming up.
Yeah.
They seem to lose a lot when they team up.
Yeah.
Speaking of Eric, he is waiting for Damien outside the park when Damien shows up acting scared. Eric pushes Damien to talk, and Damien admits that Ben jumped him last week. Eric tells him not to leave the city yet. He will figure something out. Is the guy playing Damien a good actor? Because I feel he has really good moments. He's respectable. Yeah. I felt like this episode in particular, I felt like he had some really good moments. Like this moment I felt was actually his whole, like, not revealing the information and baiting Eric into telling him what's going on. I bought it. You know, I mean, I knew it was a ploy because I knew that he was up to something, but I also bought it. Yeah. At the Empire Suite, Chuck is explaining his plan to bang Raina enough times to make her fall in love with him in order to stop the sale of Bass Industries. They are interrupted by Blair and Epperly, who needs a new venue for W's event tonight. After deciding on the Palace Hotel, Blair suggests that Nate show Epperly the balcony so she and Chuck can talk in private. I liked their team up. The Blair and Chuck both going to each other because they needed something from the other one. Mm-hmm. And both of them needing something that would, where it's, okay, we're broken up. We'll always love each other. We may end up together one day in the future, but right now we're broken up and I need Chuck to bang my boss.
And where Chuck's like, where we may be together one day in the future and I'll love her forever, but right now I need your help getting this woman to fall in love with me. Help me Dennis this woman.
And this is what Gossip Girl has to say before we go to the first act break. Looks like our favorite Upper East sinners just found the answer to their prayers. Lucky for us, their road to heaven leads straight through hell.
Upper East Sinners I liked, but why didn't you use that a couple weeks ago when you had the Saints and Sinners party?
Dan goes to confront Serena about the Ben situation and quickly realizes that she has feelings for him. Serena says she hasn't heard from him since the party last episode, just as Ben calls her phone that she left lying on the table. He wants to know why Serena sent him a bookcase. She will be right there to explain.
I do love how Dan's like, oh, of fucking course. Like, oh, yeah, of course. Oh, like you see him like checking all the mental boxes that he knows Serena has and just, of fucking course.
And how presumptuous is Serena, man? She moves this guy into the loft and then starts redecorating immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, starts buying stuff for him. And yeah. Right after being like, he doesn't want anything to do with me, but I'm going to keep sending him shit.
Eric comes home just in time to see Serena leaving. When Dan lets him know that she went to see Ben, Eric is not happy. Without naming names, Eric mentions that Ben beat up a friend of his last week and they need to come up with a plan to show everyone how dangerous Ben is.
Yeah, the old Eric-Dan team up. I will also say this, though. Connor Paulo had some good moments today, too. He we'll get to it at the end, but he had some really good moments.
But yeah, I love Eric, but he is a loser when it comes to scheming.
Yeah. Bruh, stay in your lane. You're genetically, you should be really good at this, but you are the Danny DeVito in Twins to Serena's Arnold Schwarzenegger when it comes to doing this kind of shit. Your parents put it all into Serena and you didn't get it, and that's good, Eric. That's good. That's why you're a good guy. Stop this shit.
Blair wants Chuck to have sex with Epperly to get her to lighten up, but Chuck says that he's been off his game lately because he can't get Raina to fall in love with him. Blair explains that's how to win a man's heart. To win a woman's heart, he needs to find a common connection. Even with the good advice, Chuck says he can't devote energy to her Epperly task. Just then, Nate and Epperly return from the balcony very flirty, and Blair and Chuck simultaneously get the same idea.
Oh, pretty Nate. And I also love, and it's just so Gossip Girl, that Epperly walks into the room and sees Nate and is immediately like, oh, hi. Hi there, Chuck. No, that's Nate. Hi, Nate. And it's just, it's like, I get it. You got 48 minutes or 42 minutes to get this thing together.
Eric takes Dan to see Damien. Despite having worked with Damien 3 episodes ago, Dan refuses to team up with him now and walks away.
Yeah, because he's a drug dealer that he teamed up with 3 episodes ago to help Serena.
It's a couple things. Dan's still wearing the Vanessa scarf. Mm-hmm. But yes, the writer's room has always had factions, but this season it feels like it's straight up fractured. They're like not even talking to each other.
Yeah. Yes. Where is the continuity in like how these characters interact with each other? That, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like the showrunner just isn't running over this with a fine-tooth comb too, you know? Is it Josh at this point still?
Joshua Saffron.
Oh, it's Saffron right now. So it was okay.
But Sarah Goodman is like basically close to the same level, and Stephanie Schwartz has written a few episodes this season, and she is technically above Saffron.
Yeah.
So yeah, it feels like they're not talking to each other between. They're like writing episodes at the same time and not talking to each other.
Right. And by this time, Chuck was in full swing too, right?
Well, it's been from day one.
Yeah, that just occurred to me that this is 2011 now. So Chuck has always been going.
Yeah, they started the same year.
Okay, right. Did anything else come up around this time? Was something distracting Schwartz and Saffron, maybe? I don't know.
No, I mean, it was just Schwartz had been checked out for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what Stephanie Savage was doing, but yeah, presumably Josh Saffron was number one with Sarah Goodman 1.5.
Right. Yeah, so maybe it seems either not talking to each other or butting heads or something going on.
Russell and Raina are going through a checklist of things for them the board vote tonight as they are exiting the Palace Hotel.
Talking about it openly and without any kind of concern of anyone hearing anything about it. Continue.
Chuck arrives and offers to give them a real tour. Russell has other business to attend to, but suggests that Raina stay to have lunch with Chuck. He then tells Chuck there is nothing his daughter doesn't tell him. So does that mean she tells him about every guy she slept with, or only the ones that could affect the business?
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. How much?
That's really weird.
Yeah, how much do you tell your dad? How details?
Positions?
Yeah. Clothing? Lack thereof?
Well, we know Chuck never takes off. He's a never nude.
Yeah. I once again, though, just want to point out that the two of them come up here talking out in the open about this thing. And I thought, I meant to actually go back and rewatch this scene because I thought that Graham, is it the dad?
Russell
Thorpe. Russell Thorpe. I thought Russell said in front of Chuck, "I'll see you tonight," right? When they were parting ways. And it was talking about that board vote out there right in front of Chuck pretty much. So yeah, Chuck knew about it. You were there talking about it in front of him.
Indeed.
And I am not blaming the character here. I am 100% blaming the writers here.
Yeah. Serena walks into the loft apologizing for the bookcase, but also delivers another present in the form of a book to which they have a shared sentimental connection. Ben invites Serena to lunch, but she suggests they order in since they have to wait for the delivery guys to pick up the bookcase.
I remember everything you read to me. When she said that, I fucking gagged.
Yeah.
Because once again, this affair started when she was a teenager. You groomed her. You may not have thought to yourself, I'm going to groom this teenager. You may have been sitting there thinking, I like the attention I'm getting from this person. She's a good student. I'm going to talk to her. Whatever was going through your head where you were attracted to her when you said to her, "Oh, I won't tell you I'm not into you," after you took her across state lines, you were grooming her. You're grooming her. And now she's like, "Oh, I want to bring back all the good memories of when you used to groom me." Aw. It's, for fuck's sake, Serena.
Nate, Blair, and Epperly are walking down the street when Epperly steps away to take a call. Blair puts the full court press on Nate to get Epperly laid. We also learn that Nate was a selfish lover.
Yeah, I really love this scene. I love that we really do essentially have a Blair-Chuck team up here. This is those phone calls, right?
Not yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought, this is with Epperly when they're walking up the street. And she says...
She takes a call, walks ahead of them.
Yes.
And Blair hangs back and hits Nate and...
Yeah. Yeah, and...
Fuck her good, Nate.
Yeah.
Don't be selfish.
Yeah, don't be selfish. And wait, am I usually selfish? Yeah, a girl remembers. And of course Nate's a selfish lover. Of course Nate doesn't know he's a selfish lover and is.
Nate's a starfish. Raina is impressed by lunch at the palace, and Chuck's familiarity with the servers bridges the way to some common ground between the two. However, Raina quickly has to leave for her meeting.
Yeah, and this is where he's they're eating and he's talking to the waiters.
First name basis with everyone.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's a good ploy.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a sweet moment, and no shade here.
Ben and Serena are sharing spicy tuna rolls, and Ben is clearly under Serena's spell. They are interrupted by Dan, which causes Serena to get up and leave. As she does, Dan reminds her that Ben is dangerous. Serena fires back with a Nunya beeswax. Despite Serena claiming Ben was no longer in touch with Juliet, Dan sees Ben's phone vibrating with Juliet on the caller ID. So used the same plot device twice in one episode.
Yes, they did, indeed. And here he is now. Remember, last week it's, I don't want that with you. And here he's feeding her with chopsticks. Are you fucking kidding me? You're flirting. You don't... The act of putting food in someone else's mouth, even with chopsticks, is either parental or flirting. And Serena's going to like it if it's both. Serena wants it to be both.
Yes. And Gossip Girl has this to say before we go to the break. Watch out, lonely boy. Your new roommate's moving in fast, but you're the one who's going to have to unpack his lies. We move into Act 3. Chuck and Blair are having a fake phone conversation solely for Raina and Nate's benefit. Despite Chuck's weak acting, Raina appears to buy the ruse. On the other end, it looks like Nate found a shiny new toy to be obsessed with for at least 5 minutes.
Yeah. I had something that I was brewing on for this, and now I kind of lost my take on it. Yeah.
I'll give Ed props for doing good, bad acting.
Oh, when he turns around.
Yeah.
And, oh, right. I love the Blair Chuck team up here that they have going on. It's funny because the conversation that they have on the phone reminded me of how Bailey and I talk to each other. The two of us will have parallel conversations where I'll say something about D&D and Bailey will be like, cool, here's something about black metal that I'm really interested in right now. And I'll be like, cool, here's something about a show I was watching. And they won't be, and it was that same, it just made me think of that. Yes, and also kudos to Ed. I think overall Ed had a pretty good episode. I think that the acting overall, for the most part, wasn't too bad. It was the writing and directing that I felt kind of hit me more.
As Nate leaves, Serena walks up to talk to Blair. Blair questions Serena's feelings for Ben as they clearly fit a pattern.
Your mother doesn't like him. He's from a different economic status. He's a bad boy. No, bad boys aren't her thing, but
he's an outsider.
But he's an outsider, and her mom hates him.
Yes.
Don't forget, he's too old for her.
Back at the loft, Dan is rattling dishes and being passive aggressive towards Ben. Dan accuses Ben of causing Serena to become estranged from her family. This makes Ben get defensive. When Serena invites him to a party tonight, he accepts while staring Dan down. Before Ben even gets off the phone, Dan is already texting Eric for a team-up.
Good idea, Dan. Go do that. Wait a second. Way earlier, Eric made a comment about how everyone confides in him and doesn't expect him to say anything. When he talked to Damien, that just triggered for me for a second. I just thought of that again. Go ahead.
Do you think you revealed something to Damien?
Now, I know that they go in and out of who Gossip Girl is, but it felt like they pivoted back to Eric again right there. It felt like foreshadowing Eric being Gossip Girl.
What other secrets could Eric have recently been venting about?
Rufus and Lily, Jonathan, why ever Elliot broke up with him.
Those aren't really secrets, though.
No. Well, I mean, the Elliot thing, we don't know why Elliot broke up with him, so that could be. What other secrets?
You're on the right track with Rufus and Lily.
With Rufus and Lily? There's Rufus, Lily, there's Scott.
But everyone knows about Scott.
Yeah, everyone knows about Scott. So there's...
What has Lily done recently, though? Or what will we find out recently?
Well, she's trying to sell the company.
What else?
The cancer?
What cancer?
Oh, the fake cancer.
Recently.
Oh, recently. Tried to sell the company. Tried to put Ben in jail.
And how'd she do that?
With the judge. Eric knows about the judge.
And what did she do with the judge?
She paid off a judge.
So what did she do at the very beginning, though?
Well, she forged Serena's signature.
That seems like a crime.
Yeah, it is. It's a pretty fucking big crime, as Lily pointed out.
Yeah.
Like, she could go to jail for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At W, Epperly is even more stressed about the party than ever. However, Blair manages to convince her that she can still do her job from the party, and Nate is going to be there looking for her.
Yeah, and tells her that she'll take care of all the calls. You've got this great assistant next to you, which she seemingly immediately fucks up. Like, immediately. Which, here, and I don't like that, because I do think that if Blair was like, no, you've got to do this thing, that she would be on top of her job a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I want Blair to be on top of her job.
This is what Gossip Girl has to say, though. Careful, B. Your boss's phone is ringing off the hook, and it's your job on the line.
Yeah.
We move into Act 4. At the party, Blair and Epperly spot Nate and go over to him. Nate asks Epperly to grab a drink with him, and Blair stays back and eagerly urges Nate on.
Gives him a good game pat on his way by. Go get him, champ.
Serena and Ben arrive. Both look a little nervous to be at their first big party as a quasi-couple. Ben offers to grab them drinks.
Yeah. Ben, who is here on a spite date, by the way, that is here because he's mad at Dan.
Yeah, for some reason. Raina finds Chuck at the party and announces she purposely missed her meeting to come here. Chuck offers to go upstairs to visit Pound Town, but Raina would rather learn more about Chuck's childhood home.
And this is where she says, where'd you used to hide, right? Show me where you used to hide.
That's when they're in the kitchen, I think.
Well, he shows her the hiding spot in the kitchen. I thought that before they get there, she says, because in this conversation, he says, how did you know? And she said, I grew up in a place like this too. And he says, can I?
Yeah, that's in the kitchen.
Right. Well, but I thought right before that, because this is the scene where he says, he said it wouldn't be a secret if I told you where it was. And then the next scene is in the kitchen where they actually point out the spot. But this is where she says that he has a hiding spot, where she knows because she had one in her hotel.
Damien intentionally bumps into Ben and becomes belligerent in an attempt to goad Ben into taking a swing at him. Ben doesn't take the bait and walks away. Eric and Dan were in on the plan and surprised it didn't work. Damien still seems confident and tells Dan to call Ben's parole officer. When Dan goes to do that, Damien lets Eric know that the plan has changed. He wants Eric to punch him so they can blame it on Ben.
Okay, Dan, Eric, Damien, what's the plan here? All right, Damien's going to go in and get up in his face and yell at him. Okay, then what? Well, then he'll clearly attack him and be arrested. Okay, if he doesn't, plan B? Oh, there's no plan B. He's definitely going to do that. Okay, fine. Plan B, Eric punch me. He doesn't let Dan know it's going to be Eric doing the punching.
Yeah.
He just lets Dan know that it's going to happen. And this is where this all really falls apart for me, too. Because Dan wouldn't just go along without knowing a plan. Well, maybe he would. But I feel like both Dan and Eric are now doing things. They're lying to do it, which isn't what they would ordinarily do.
Well, Dan still thinks that he's going to be able to get him pissed off.
Yeah. But Dan's an idiot.
And he even threatens, if you're lying, I'm going to get you banished. Which Dan's out here threatening banishment now.
Yeah. Banished.
One of the other interns finds Blair and tells her that the party planner screwed up and delivered the gift bags to the old location. When Blair goes to find Epperly, she has disappeared from the spot she was standing just a moment before.
And here's the thing. Oh my God, don't worry, Epperly can handle this. Why does she need to? Okay, let me call a car to go pick up the bags and bring them here. Could any other human being get the bags and bring them here? Does Epperly need to sign off on the bags getting transported here?
Chuck and Raina are bonding over their parallel childhood experience in the hotel kitchen. It appears Chuck is about to reveal his ruse when Russell walks in and reveals that Chuck purposely kept Raina away from the board vote that happened today.
Raina, you knew about this board vote. Again, it seemed like Chuck would have known and that you would have known Chuck knew. You're the one that was like, I can't make it tonight. I've got something else I need to do. And then later said, you know what? I can make it after. I'm going to skip this thing to hang out with you. Why does it matter if he knew? Why at this point does it matter? Yeah, I did know. What's wrong with that? You still chose me over that.
Serena is talking to some socialites when Ben walks up to tell her he's going to leave, but that she should stay. Then Eric, followed by a now bruised Damien, will also walk up and accuse Ben of attacking Damien. Ben doesn't deny it, and Dan looks on in judgment.
Ben with this stupid, stoic brooding. Ben, who had plenty of anger issues and plenty to say when he was yelling at his sister from jail, is now like, oh, guys, I'm just going to keep my cool even though I assaulted that guy a week ago when no one was looking. Like, Damien's also not entirely wrong.
Yeah.
He did assault him.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Ben was planning to go after him again when no one's looking.
Yeah, very much, yeah.
And then this is what Gossip Girl has to say as we go to the act break. Sorry, S. Your new beau may have the right to remain silent, but you just became the talk of the town. We move into Act 5. Florence and the Machine begin an acoustic set as Serena tries to get to the bottom of what happened with Ben and Damien. Dan reiterates that Ben is dangerous, but Serena says Ben wouldn't do that.
He would, but you don't know he would.
He would, but he just didn't this time.
Yeah, he would, he didn't, and he just makes you think that he wouldn't.
Chuck chases down Raina and admits that he started things with her for the wrong reasons, but is now falling for her for real. But Raina's like, nah, bitch, I outie.
Something like that. Well, and again, like, you're the one that skipped this. He didn't keep you from anything. He asked you on a date that you accepted when you knew you had plans, which is why you turned him down when he first asked. And let me also say this. As far as new characters and villains that they bring into this show and how often I hate them, I really like Raina. I actually think so far she has measured up to the cast in her chops. She's measured up to go toe-to-toe with Chuck in these scenes. I think that this is, again, just bad writing in the bad continuity in this episode, but I like her character a lot so far. I've also liked Russell so far. I've liked their characters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't find them to be grimy, backhanded, terrible villains. I find them to be people with a conflicting interest to the characters of the show, which makes them more interesting.
Yeah.
But why do you give a fuck that you went on a date with this guy? Why do you care that he knew?
Ben's parole officer is taking him back to a holding facility until he can see a judge in the morning. Serena chases him down and pleads with Ben to tell the PO that he didn't do anything, but Ben still doesn't deny the allegation.
Ben, yeah, I didn't do this. Here, look at my hands. Could you check these guys' hands to see if anyone has bruised knuckles? Because I didn't just punch this guy. And Eric, I saw him do it. Like, Eric, fuck off. Like, come on, bruh. You're better than this. But Ben, just say I didn't do it.
But, I mean, he knows no one will believe him. Say he didn't do it's not going to do anything because they're going to believe Eric over him.
Yeah. But also, you I don't know. I fucking hate Ben.
Yeah. Blair asks Nate where Epperly is, and he admits that Epperly went off with some guy that she knew from Oxford. Blair decides it's now on her to fix the gift bag crisis and attempts to bully Nate into helping her, but for once, Nate stands up for himself.
Yeah, I don't really know why you needed to choose this hill to die on, Nate. Like, you do this kind of shit for her all the time. Why not help her with the bags here?
Now that the scheme has worked, Eric wants to go back to Damien's place to celebrate with some Call of Duty, but Damien callously reveals he was just using Eric to get rid of Ben. Eric is left looking devastated.
And here's like, now I think we're just finding this true Damien of, I'm going to be really good and I'm just going to be a nice guy and kind of chill out and then dip. And just, he did it to Jenny. He's doing it to Eric now.
Yep. Rufus finds Dan sitting at the bar and is disappointed that Dan narked on Ben, but also apologizes for not talking to Dan first before moving Ben into the loft. However, a scorned Eric walks up and shows his bruised hand, admitting it was him that punched Damien and not Ben. Dan gets up to try to fix things.
And Rufus, it was shitty to force your kid to live with someone without really vetting the situation better. To just be like, and I get that your wife did some shitty things to this guy and you feel guilty. So why don't you take some of her money and put him up in fucking anywhere? Like anywhere.
Yeah.
And like Dan said, put him in Chuck's room. Put him in Chuck's old room. Why does it have to be here?
And Gossip Girl has this to say as we go to the final break. Spotted, a lonely boy trying to save an innocent man. Looks like Brooklyn's the one who's guilty by association. We move into the epilogue.
Oh, you said Brooklyn and made me think of this. Why does Blair call Brooklyn Dumbo?
That's the neighborhood.
Oh, the I didn't realize that was
Yeah.
the name of the neighborhood in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Yes. It's right underneath the bridge, basically.
Oh, okay.
We move into the epilogue. Dan and Rufus are on the phone the next morning. Rufus tells Dan that Eric didn't sleep at home last night, and they are both worried about Eric and his relationship with Damien. Dan says not to worry because he and Nate have a plan to take care of Damien.
Yeah. Good job. Great. I love a good Nate-Dan team up, but it was also like...
And Dan gets off the phone as Ben returns to the loft. Dan apologizes for helping to cause Ben to spend the night in jail. Ben is being pretty gracious about it. Dan also invited Serena to come over to wait for Ben. He leaves the two to reconnect as he has to go meet Nate.
It also...
Dan's now just setting them up to bang.
Yeah. Blair Dan has that Blair amnesia of, oh, well, you know what? Since this guy didn't punch Damien in the face... Yeah, green light. Dan, you were wrong for how you were treating him and for not listening to him and for not talking to him. I'll give you that. Look, Dan should have maybe approached him differently. But then to just be like, well, since he didn't commit felony assault at the party, why don't you bang my ex-stepsister? Not ex-stepsister, my stepsister ex.
As soon as Lily finds out, we haven't even gotten her reaction to Rufus putting him up in this
Yeah.
house.
They're not going to tell her. They just dress him up like a butler whenever she comes over. She'll never recognize him.
There's no reason for her to actually go to the loft, so.
Yeah.
Eric comes home to find Rufus waiting for him. Rufus gets Eric to open up about how lonely he has been.
It wasn't Jenny. Rufus really, when it's like, no, we're not done here, talk to me. It was a very good dad moment. He still let him go a little too soon, where his things like that kind of guy always does. Like he kind of like definitely fucked it up at the end with that line. Because it's like, yeah, Eric, no one will ever actually love you. Just people who will pretend to get something from you is what Eric is hearing when he says that.
Yeah.
I also thought that this was one of the best scenes that Connor has done.
Chuck is surprised when Raina shows up at the Empire Suite. Blair called Raina and convinced her to give Chuck a second chance. Chuck agrees to keep Raina out of his attempts to preserve his father's legacy, and Raina leaves for a meeting, and Chuck texts Blair a thank you.
Again, this was just as dumb. Like, oh yeah, but it's fine. I'm so mad at you, but Blair said that you're cool, so it's fine. Why are they even talking?
At W, Blair is anxiously awaiting for Epperly to get out of her meeting with Stefano to learn her fate. However, Epperly comes out of her meeting and reveals that after spending the night talking to her old boyfriend, she decided to quit and do Eat, Pray, Love with him in Bali. Not only that, but she recommended that Blair replace her. Blair is shocked, as she is also a full-time student.
Yeah, it's funny. It took me back to what you were saying about how they're going to slowly back away from college. And now here you have Blair being assistant to a CEO of this company, or I guess the editor of this magazine.
Mm-hmm.
As a full-time student. As a full-time student who has been an intern. You know, no one else.
For like a week.
Yeah, for like a week. None of the other people who have been working at this company.
She was fired last week, too.
Yes, fired last week and probably going to be this week if things didn't turn out differently. But no, just let this newbie take over. I wonder if Emily was like, you know what? I'm going to teach her that she's not right for this. I'm going to get her fired now so that she can find something else to do.
Or are they just fast-tracking Blair to being a powerful woman so she can go back to Chuck?
Which, that feels a little too on the nose, which is kind of what we do here.
Russell asks Serena if he still has her support in buying Bass Industries. She responds only on the condition of keeping Chuck on as part of the new company.
I liked Russell's reaction. Like, I don't need him. She's like, you do. You just don't know it yet, which also was dumb.
Yeah. Like, you really don't need him.
What, I didn't hear you.
You really don't need him.
Yeah, you really don't. And it is dumb. But the way that she's like, you do. You just don't know it yet. What I liked about it was Russell's reaction. I like this relationship where you have a dad that listens to his kid. You have a dad that listens to his daughter. This novel introduction that this show has brought is this parent showing care and concern and listening to their daughter and taking her advice and seeing what she can really bring to the table.
Dan and Nate stroll out of Damien's building and see him returning home. They say they came looking for Eric, but found Damien's dad instead. They told him everything. A distraught Damien watches them walk away.
Bruh, you've been dealing designer drugs on the Upper East Side for at least 2 years now. Let's say he started like a month before he met Jenny. At least a year, you have been dealing high-end drugs to high-end clientele. And you didn't set any of that aside? You didn't think like, oh, I'll have this money for me away from my dad at any point?
It seems like he was strictly street level. So he was probably just basically earning a little bit and enough to buy his own drugs.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Just feel like he could have done something with some of the money he was getting to not be completely cut off from his dad. But also, good for you, Damien.
And Serena and Ben do some reconnecting. Gross.
I just wanted to kiss you like I wanted to back when you were 16 and in my classroom. Fucking disgusting.
And this is Gossip Girl's closing monologue. They say the universe has a great sense of humor. That sometimes having your dreams come true can feel like a nightmare. Because getting what you want always comes with strings attached. And even when you think you're finally in the clear, you're never home free. Every happy ending is just a new beginning. Because on the Upper East Side, the good times never last forever. XOXO Gossip Girl. That is our episode. What is coming up next?
Ben and Serena is coming up next. And that's going to be just annoying and disgusting. And they're going to be like a thing now for sure. I'm worried about Eric. I'm worried about Eric needing a return to the Ostroff Center at some point because he is carrying a lot and has no friends. I would really like Dan to swoop in here and be the big brother friend that Eric needs. I'm not confident he's going to. This Chuck and Raina thing is going to bounce back and forth, and it's going to annoy me, I'm sure. But again, I like Raina. And I like the Chuck-Raina couple. I don't like how, 2 or 3 episodes in a row, it's like you let business get in the way of things. And now you're letting personal things get in the way. And now it's like, oh, but now we just promise not to anymore. Like, didn't you promise this last week? Didn't the two of you have this same resolution a week ago? And maybe even the week before that too? Like, I feel like you've already had this plot 2 weeks in a row. And yeah, I mean, I think that some walls are going to cave in around Lily and Rufus. I think that they have grown-up things to fight about now, which I kind of like. Because when they had tension before, it was dumb kid drama. Like, how many people did you bang? But now they actually have some grown-up shit that might come crashing down on them. So,
Will Willie go to jail?
I can't imagine. I can't imagine that. I can imagine her getting arrested. Cannot imagine her going to jail.
Did you notice the parallel between Dan and Blair?
What was going on?
Well, Dan is clearly propping up Ben and Serena, and Blair is propping up Chuck and Raina.
Chuck and Raina, yes. No, I did see that. I thought you meant parallels throughout the episode, but at the end, where yes, you have Blair pushing those two together, Dan pushing those two together, leaving Dan and Blair on the outs.
They're going to be one intern short at W now.
They sure are. Are they going to need a new writer intern?
Any other predictions?
Kind of curious if this is it for Damien, at least for a while, because I feel like he could still bounce back. But no, I don't think that. I think that's it.
Let's get into segments.
Hello there, Peabody here. And this is the Wayback Machine for traveling through time. And this is my boy, Sherman. Speak, Sherman. Hello. Good boy.
This week in fandom, we jumped in the Wayback Machine to travel to the forums from 2011. Overall impression, Television Without Pity said it was horrible. Fan forum was slightly more positive.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Blair's promotion makes no sense.
None whatsoever.
They're desperate for Damien to stay.
Yeah, I kind of hope that he's not done. I kind of want to see where this goes for him, because now Damien's gonna actually need a fucking friend. And now does he go back to Eric and like, oh, I'm so sorry, but I need rich friends. I'm cut off, and I'm only allowed to live in my house on the lake back in Wales,
Belgium.
It's
hard to even care about Serena anymore.
It is hard to even care about Serena anymore. I'd like to high five everyone in that comment chain. I loved Serena so much for so long that I really, for 3 years, just was on the Serena ride of like, oh, I kind of get it. Until finally it's like, what an asshole. What are you doing?
Tough for their dad at the end of season 3 just killed their character.
Yes, completely. And even the lead up to it. Like
the trip stuff too was pretty bad.
Yeah. The trip stuff was pretty bad. And I was still like kind of on board for her at the time. Because I still felt like, because I do feel at the heart of it, Serena is I don't want to say naive, but she's so easy to take advantage of. If you are coming from a very specific angle of being older, being parental, and being, I don't know, just telling her the 5 things that she needs to hear in a day. You know, tell her that she's pretty, tell her that it's just all of those Serena things, but she's so hard to care about anymore. Like, I put so much in season 1 alone. No, I can't care.
So Television Without Pity and fan forum were very divided on their views of Ben. Television Without Pity still definitely side-eyeing him, but fan forum was like sympathetic towards him.
I love the Gossip Girl fans, but sometimes I hate the Gossip Girl fans in the fan forums. Like, this guy is disgusting. He went to jail. Okay, so he did not do the one thing, but he did the other. Right? He goes to jail for this and then spends his time in jail trying to destroy a girl's life, a high school and early college girl's life, And then it's like, oh, but she didn't mean it. Oh, it wasn't her. Okay, now I love you. Fuck off, you pervert. Fucking groomer.
Chuck can't carry a storyline.
No. I'm hoping Raina can carry a storyline, but Chuck can't.
And while it's insulting to the show, trots out the frigid career woman trope. Sex is a great stress relief, and Nate sure does look like a really cute bike.
It's like riding a really cute bike. I forgot about that line.
And this was an actual quote from user Rue721. Don't you understand that Rufus sold you down the river, Dan? Where's your mother? Call her to get her to scream at Rufus, because right now she's still trying to clean up the psychic splatter that Rufus made out of the ambitious but level-headed season 1 Jenny. And I'm sure she doesn't want him to ruin you too.
Facts. No lies detected. And also, if you think about it, like, where is she here? Like, you had who move in with our kid?
Yeah.
In our loft?
She just doesn't know.
Yeah, she doesn't know. Because Dan doesn't talk to her.
No. Eric needs a hug.
Oh, Eric.
Chuck without Bart is boring.
Yeah.
And fan form, because we got a second James Franco reference in a couple weeks, thinks that he is coming to Gossip Girl and that him and Blair would be hot.
Oh. In a I don't really give a shit about James Franco kind of way, I guess. Can we get his younger brother? Can we get his more talented, less rapey younger brother?
Well, that is it for This Week in Fandom. Let's move over to episode grades. It's my turn to go first. Yeah, not a very good episode. I think the only thing that keeps it from being an F or a D- was probably Florence the Machine.
Yeah.
Because she has one of the most beautiful voices ever.
Yeah.
And so I ended up with a D.
Yeah, I thought it was really rough. I thought so many of the plot resolutions, the climax to this episode, every climax failed. And it was just a dud. Even the sex line climax failed. So how's that? It was just such a dud in the end. I'm going to go a D+. I'll give it just that plus because I didn't hate it as much as that one I hated the other week.
And moving over to Stockwatch. Going up, I had Ben, because even though he's gross, he's getting what he wants, I guess. So yeah, he's going up. Serena, same thing. Blair, because even though she really showed her privilege and is the definition of failing upward.
Yeah.
But she did fail upward.
Yes, she did.
Chuck and Raina, because they seem to be getting on, and Chuck finally kind of won Raina over. Epperly, because she's gets to be happy and stress-free now. Gets to go to Bali and just chill for a while.
Yeah.
And Rufus, because he was, other than, the whole moving Dan in, he was a good dad to Eric, I thought, at the end there. Who do you have going up?
Ben as well. Ben, who is, now getting Serena after getting out of jail again. I'm going to give Blair for, as you said, failing upwards and getting her promotion. I'm going to give Chuck and Raina, as you had said, for their coming together. I'm leaving Rufus neutral. I'm not going to give him the up because, yes, I liked how he was with Eric at the end, but I felt like the stuff with Ben kind of offset. I think that might be it for me going up. Oh, I'm sorry, Epperly. Epperly was the other one I wanted to go up.
Going down, I had Damien, because he got cut off.
Broke.
Dan, because his scheme failed.
Yeah.
Eric, because his scheme failed and he's alone and bruised hand and not looking good.
Yeah.
Nate, because he got used and didn't even get laid out of it.
No.
And Russell, because his daughter went against him and didn't show up for the meeting. So he went down.
All right. I have the same as you without Russell. I was also keeping Russell neutral because I appreciated the daughter the daddy-daughter moment there at the end and how he treated her. And even when he was like disappointed in her earlier, he didn't like come down on her, you know. He didn't Rufus her. So I'm gonna let him stay neutral. But the rest of who you said, yes, I had all going down. Damien, Dan, Eric, Nate for being played, not laid. And yeah, I think that would be it for my going to. Vanessa wasn't mentioned, right?
No.
But here's the best outfits from the last episode we've seen.
Best outfit. I had Raina again with her purple dress in the epilogue.
I was torn between Raina's purple dress in the epilogue and the red dress from dinner. I thought Raina just looked fantastic in this whole episode, pretty much. So I also had Raina.
Which one, though?
I'm going to go with the red one, the first one. Honorable mention to Blair's dress. It was a little busy from what I usually like, but I thought it was interesting busy. But I really liked how elegant the red with the black necklace looked.
That is it for segments. Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Where are we in December right now? Have we hit the 9th yet?
I believe it's going to be the next day.
Okay, well, tomorrow I will be at the Christmas Village in Love Park in Philadelphia. It's right there off of Dilworth Park, so come on down. Catch me playing some tunes. I'll be there at 6 o'clock tomorrow, and on Thursday, I'll be back again at 5 o'clock in the evening. So come in, some Christmas songs, some original songs, some cover songs, and come and have a nice time. Oh, and then December 27th, I am at Fat Lady Brewing in Manayunk. So, and then you can follow me on TikTok or Instagram, steve.marchon, Marchion.
For me, you can follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Hot Capicola. That's HOTCAPICOLA. You can follow the podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at Non-Judging Breakfast Pod. And if you would like to sign up for our Patreon, our Discord server, or our subreddit, you can find the links on our website, nonjudgingbreakfastpod.com.
And if you'd like to get in touch with us, we would love to hear what you have to say. Please go ahead and send us an email, and we will read it here on the podcast and let you know our thoughts. And while you're at it, also, if you could hit the like, subscribe, follow button to whatever it is you are listening to us on, and even leave us a comment. It really helps our visibility, especially in Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And finally, if you could make us your water cooler talk, let your friends know what you're listening to. Tell them all about the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod and pull them a seat up to the Non-Judging Breakfast table with you.
And we'll be back next week to talk about Season 4, Episode 15, It Girl Happened One Night. The episode description reads, with Russell Thorpe poised for a takeover attempt of Bass Industries, Chuck makes one last-ditch effort to save his family's company.
Oh, boy.
I will also reveal it is Valentine's Day next week.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is this going to end with Chuck and Raina being like, but we're going to make sure not to let business interfere with our relationship? Again. For the third week in a row.
Well, shall see. But until next time, you know you love us.
XOXO. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Oh, it seems I'm walking right to your door. My heart's still resting, looking for something more. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Never feels right when I'm out here on my own. I left last night and it feels like way too long. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Come back to me. Smile and you'll make my life complete. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me